questions too, that were calculated to make a man report about 4 times his actual income to keep from swearing to a falsehood. I looked for a loophole, but there did not appear to be any. Inquiry, no one covered my case as generously and as amply as an umbrella could cover an anthill. What were your profits during the past year from any trade, business, or vocation wherever carried on? And that inquiry was backed up by 13 others of an equally searching nature, the most modest of which required information as to whether I had committed any burglary or highway robbery, or by any arson or other secret source of emolument had acquired property, which was not enumerated in my statement of income as set opposite to inquiry. No one. It was plain that that stranger had enabled me to make a goose of myself. It was very, very plain. And so I went out and hired another artist. By working on my vanity, the stranger had seduced me into declaring an income of $214,000 by law. $1,000 of this was exempt from income tax, the only relief I could see. And it was only a drop in the ocean. At the legal 5%, I must pay to the government the sum of $10,650 income tax. I may remark in this place that I did not do it. I am acquainted with a very opulent man whose house is a palace, whose table is regal, whose outlays are enormous, yet a man who has no income, as I have often noticed by the revenue returns, and to him I went for advice in my distress. He took my dreadful exhibition of receipts, he put on his glasses, he took his pen, and presto, I was a pauper. It was the neatest thing that ever was. He did it simply by deftly manipulating the bill of deductions. He set down my state, national, and municipal taxes as so much my losses by shipwreck, fire at so much my losses by shipwreck, fire at state, at so much my losses on sales of real estate, on livestock sold, on payments for rent of homestead, on repairs, improvements, interest, on previously taxed salary as an officer of the United States Army, Navy, Revenue Service, and other things. He got astonishing deductions out of each and every one of these matters, each and every one of them. And when he was done, he handed me the paper, and I saw at a glance that during the year my income in the way of profits had been $1,250.40. Now, said he, the $1,000 is exempt by law. What you want to do is to go and swear this document in and pay tax on the $250. While he was making this $1,000 is exempt by law, what you want to do is to go and swear this document in and pay tax on the $250. He was making this speech. His little boy Willie lifted a $2 greenback out of his vest pocket and vanished with it, and I would wager anything that if my stranger were to call on that little boy tomorrow, he would make a false return of his income. "Do you," said I, "do you always work up